California cooking, here's what's coming up on today's show. She's the genius behind the wildly popular dessert empire, Milk Bar. Christina Tosi has a love for all things sweet. She's showing me how to make her strawberry shortcake cereal squares. Then, Levi and I make good use of our herb garden with a Pesto Veggie Quesadilla. And grilling season, it's here. Chef Nick Liberato is helping you up your burger game this summer. Her baked goods are so yummy that a famous chef told her she had to go into business. Christina Tosi has a love of desserts, and that sweet tooth has turned into an empire. Take a look. Hi! You're so fun because I feel like you have the taste buds of a kid, and that's why we love you, right?
I mean, I think the secret to growing up is never losing sight of what it feels like to be a kid.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time thinking about that, right? Like that's when we were our most happy because we didn't know what the lack of happiness was. It was when we didn't have a worry in the world.
It's so true, because you think about it, you're like, when did we lose that? Like at what age did we, think we couldn't make ourselves some Rice Krispie treats at home and enjoy them just as much as we did when we were a kid, right?
I mean, that's what I'm screaming, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone wants a lightness in life. They want that sort of childlike wonder. They want their imaginations to be open and free. They want to know no limits. And I'm just screaming like, go back to what it felt like to be a kid. That's the secret. That's the secret.
You know what? Your story, I think, is so fascinating. And it's just that. It's like if, when someone has a dream, or like you said, going back to something as simple as what makes me happy, and then make a multi-million-dollar business out of it, I think is the ultimate, that is the ultimate goal for people, really. If you can combine those two things in life.
You're passionate about what you do, and if what you do brings you real joy, you'll never work a day in your life.
Your story started, let me start with the part I know about, which is working with David Chang. And a lot of us know him now because he has all these shows on TV. And Momofuku is this really popular restaurant that he had in New York City. You made something for him one day, and that changed everything.
Yeah. I moved to New York originally to go to pastry school because I knew I had a love for desserts. I just couldn't quite figure out what my role in the industry should be. And I thought, well, maybe I will make desserts at home, and then maybe my role, maybe my place in this industry is just different, right? I can still love to know a lot about food and play a supporting role in a restaurant. And so I got out of the pastry kitchen and into the more administrative side of the restaurant business, which is how I met Dave. But he knew that I had a dessert background, and I would always bring in whatever I was making at home the night before to work.
Right.
And one day he was just like, this is really a waste of time. You need to start making desserts for Momofuku. And that was, 13, 14 years ago. I opened Milk Bar 11 years ago off of the heels of launching the dessert program at all the Momofuku restaurants. And Milk Bar was really my retreat to, or perhaps my coming together of being a professionally trained pastry chef, but being a home baker at heart, first and foremost. I busted my butt to get here. I have the chops, but I also appreciate that what people want at the end of the day is something that is soul satisfying and delicious. And I think a lot of those flavors start at the aisles of the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
It's the food that we all have access to.
Crack pie. Talk about crack pie. Is that what put you on the map? That people knew you from crack pie, and what is in it?
It was either cereal milk, which is the milk tastes like what's left in your bowl after you eat all the cereal out of it. We sell it as a soft serve flavor at Melrose and Detroit, just off of Melrose and La Brea, where our Milk Bar is in LA. It's either that, the compost cookie, which is the cookie you make when you don't have enough chocolate chip cookies to make a chocolate chip cookie, or what it has pretzels, potato chips, oats, coffee, graham crackers, butterscotch chips, chocolate chips, to the nth degree. The birthday cake, which looks just like this, but its spirit is the box funfetti cake mix of my childhood made from scratch. Or it's the crack pie, which we now call Milk Bar pie. That is a toasted oat crust, a gooey butter filling. Those 4 desserts, they have stood the test of time. Many of them are moments in memory that have been with me my entire life.
During this whole pandemic, a lot of us have started to experiment in the kitchen. I'm not a big baker, but I think, like you said, there's something that we want to make something comforting for our family, or we want to do an activity with the kids in the kitchen. So we're making cookies and we're doing things maybe we weren't doing as much of before.
I just love that spirit, right? Of like, you have to find the silver lining in all of it.
Yeah.
Every time you add, there's also good. You just have to find it. And that is so much the spirit of Bake Club. So at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, I go on Instagram and I host a bake club. It's everything from like, we made homemade gummies on Friday because it was like, everyone was like, we're out of flour. Don't give me a recipe that has flour.
Right.
We made something called payday pie today, which is sort of, I taught everyone how to make a pie crust and then how to blind bake it. And then we filled it with a few different sort of like notions of peanut butter, nougat, and caramel. And I mean, my favorite part about it is I post the ingredients online the night before, and then I don't say what we're making until we're making it. So what you also can't, there's a spirit of an adventure and spirit of wonder. So I don't say anything. I'm just like, you need butter, you need flour, you need sugar, and you need your mac and cheese packet. And people are like, what?
Christina, look what I did. And my 4-year-old already took a square out of it. He's mad as can be that I made this without him. But can I tell you, this is your strawberry shortcake cereal bar, right? Yeah. It literally took me 3 minutes to make it.
And I'm telling you, it crushes. I know, it crushes in the flavor department. This is like a hack that I would do when I was a teenager at home. And I found in hosting Bake Club day in and day out, I was like, well, this strawberry shortcake layer cake is like live online at milkbarstore.com, but like, maybe those two things aren't part of your life, so how do you get the strawberry shortcake at home? And I was like, oh, I know. So it's super simple. Yeah. It is, I like that you're just like—
I'll eat, and you walk us through it.
Bag of marshmallows and 5 tablespoons of butter that you just melt in a giant bowl in the microwave until it's puffy and fluffy and gooey. And as it's going, you pull out items that are going to give you a strawberry shortcake vibe. I have honeycomb as well. I also have, because I never have enough cereal to make one thing, I have Rice Krispies, I have Chex, I also have Nilla wafers, which is like the bottom of the box, which are gonna bring like those really like nice buttery sweet shortcake vibes. I have some freeze-dried strawberries. I have strawberry syrup, and I have strawberry jam. It's 1 bag of marshmallows, 5 tablespoons of butter, and then 5 cups of cereal. And when it comes to strawberry shortcake, I think the perfect mixture is honeycomb and Special K with freeze-dried strawberries in them. I don't have Special K because, of course, my store was out. I just pulled out a bunch of cereals that I know will go really well with this flavor. Part of that is honeycomb. 1, 2, 3 cups. Yeah, I always lose count because I get so excited when I see cereal coming out. Yeah. By the way, if you don't have freeze-dried strawberries, you can't get your hands on the cereal that already has strawberries in them. The other move is this sort of spirit of like, there's gotta be some sort of strawberry syrup or strawberry jam sitting around in your house. And you can throw some of that in with your marshmallows and your butter as you go to get those strawberry flavors in. And just in general, like when you're thinking about a Rice Krispie treat, you've got to think about it with an open mind because truly the possibilities of flavor are endless. Right. Like, you could throw vanilla extract in to your marshmallows and butter and throw some rainbow sprinkles in and create like birthday Rice Krispie treats in the style of like the Milk Bar birthday cake. And then it's really easy. You grab an 8x8 inch pan. I'm a very big believer in you use the paper your butter came in to grease your dish. Love that. This is like how my grandma taught me. Totally. You throw this amazing gooey mixture into your pan, and then you use that same butter paper to press this mixture down so that you get a nice, even, gooey layer of strawberry shortcake cereal treats. And I mean, the rest is history.
That's it.
There you go.
Christina, such a pleasure talking to you. I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you for making strawberry shortcake squares along with me. I can't wait to see what Levi thinks.
Exactly. Anytime. And be well. And thanks for hanging out with us today. Bye.
Bye.
Christina is a kid at heart, and her energy is contagious. By the way, those cereal squares lasted like a day in my house. And guess what? Milk Bar now has a line of cookies that you can get from the grocery store. They're available at Whole Foods and on Amazon. Coming up, I'm learning how to make the most amazing burger just in time for grilling season. But first, Levi and I are using our leftover veggies and fresh herbs to cook up a delicious pesto veggie quesadilla. That's coming up next. So I think I've told you this before, every day for lunch, I pretty much have something on a tortilla. So Levi and I thought it'd be a great idea, since we just planted an herb garden, to make a pesto veggie quesadilla. Take a look. Levi, you just were in the garden. What did you pick?
Cilantro.
What is this one? You know this one.
Parsley.
Dill.
Dill.
Oh, this one's your favorite. Basil. He goes to the garden and just starts eating the herbs, which is hilarious. We just planted an herb garden, and it's been so nice to just go and pick herbs and add them to your meal. And today I thought, what if we make a yummy pesto? So with a pesto, I love pesto because you can use anything green. It could be spinach, kale, parsley, basil, whatever it is. So I have a combination of, I've got a little bit of spinach in here already, just as a base. I've got parsley, cilantro, dill, basil. The trick to a pesto is, of course, olive oil. And pesto is so useful because you can put it in anything. You can do pasta, put it on chicken, fish. So today what we're gonna do with it is make a veggie quesadilla. It's like a pesto sauce. And I think it'll be good, and it's a way to eat our veggies. I'm gonna put all the veggies I have in the fridge. We've got lemon. So with a pesto, any nut will work. You could do walnuts, you could do pine nuts, which is traditional. You could do pistachios. So I'm gonna use pistachios. Yeah, Parmesan. You need Parmesan cheese. Yes, excellent. Garlic. That's the other thing you must have in a good pesto, is some
That's so hard. That's so hard.
fresh garlic. Did I do salt? I don't know. I'll put a little more. All right, we ready? And you keep adding olive oil until it gets going. Okay, it smells good. Let's add some Parmesan cheese. Let's stir it.
What is this?
One taste? It's good, right? I think the only thing I want to do, I think I want to add a little lemon
Eat the garlic.
zest. No, don't eat the garlic. We've made a royal mess over here, but what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna saute the veggies. This is literally all the veggies I had in the fridge. Doesn't matter what you got, but I'm gonna saute them in the back here. I'm gonna do some olive oil, maybe a little butter. I've got onions, peppers, kale, tomatoes, fresh corn. So our veggies are cooked, and now I've got another skillet. I'm gonna put some olive oil, flour tortillas. Now, when it comes to cheese, I just took what I had in the fridge. You can use anything. I have some cheddar, I have some Swiss. We'll load up our veggies that are nice and soft. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the pesto and I'm gonna pour it over our veggies. And of course, save some to dip. And then I had a little shredded cheese I'll add on top so that the top tortilla sticks. We put on our top tortilla and we just let it do its thing. Gently wait for it to get nice and brown, and then we'll flip. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Nice. Our quesadilla is out of the pan. I'm gonna cut it though. We have to cut it into pieces. Look, the cheese got all gooey. That's the moment, right? Crunch.
You're gonna break it.
Crunch. Ooh, yum, 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 yum.
It looks yummy.
I'm just gonna lick it. Here, I'm gonna dip. Levi, you taste all the veggies? Bye, Levi. Thanks for your help. The pesto made that quesadilla, and it's a great way to eat your veggies. Coming up, I'm learning how to cook up the juiciest burger with Nick Liberato. That's coming up next. Nick Liberato is a busy guy. He is the host and executive producer of the Netflix show Restaurants on the Edge. He's got 2 restaurants, 3 kids, a wife, and he knows how to cook up a mean burger. Take a look at his secret. Nick, you're making my favorite food today.
Burgers.
Burgers. How you doing?
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me
Oh
here.
my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. You have the best job ever. Not only are you a chef of 2 restaurants here in Venice, but you have a new show on Netflix. You get to travel all over the world.
Yeah.
Very smart on your part to pitch that idea to Netflix.
Thank you. Thank you.
But tell everybody about the show.
It's a travel show that goes around the world rescuing restaurants. And myself and my co-hosts, we uplift the business in a positive way with food, design, cocktails, which we love,
Right.
and just the experience.
We're making a burger today. You and I had a discussion already about burgers today. What we love. We don't, and that's a real personal thing for people, their favorite burgers.
Especially here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Because LA is a burger city.
Right?
There's tons of places we can go for burgers.
know.
We all have our favorites.
We do.
We don't need to mention them.
We don't need to get ourselves in trouble saying which ones are.
But I've been, as a guy from Philadelphia,
Yeah.
where cheesesteaks are very, popular.
Yeah.
Here in Los Angeles, we have some of the best burgers I personally have ever had anywhere. And this is one that's worked really well for us at the
Okay.
Venice Whaler, and it's my personal favorite burger.
What is the trick to it? Is there a trick to it?
There are a
Okay.
couple techniques to it. One starts with the blend of meat,
Yeah.
which is a blend of chuck, ribeye, and brisket.
Yeah.
Then we have cracked pepper
Okay.
and sea salt. The reason I asked you for that extra pan
Yeah.
is because we are, actually, no.
Oh, you're gonna whack. You're gonna
I'm gonna,
whack.
well, that means something different in Philadelphia. I'm not gonna whack
Right.
anything.
Okay.
What I like to do is just use a pan like this, and I'll press it down just like this.
Okay, so then people are
We're
going,
whacking.
well, why? People are going, well, why don't you just use the coarse ground pepper?
You can, and the reason being is because this is what's gonna give us the flavor that we want, just like that. We have some parsley, just regular flat leaf parsley. Now it's time to make our burgers.
Okay, this is where the rubber gloves come into play.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's yours.
Oh, okay.
All right, so, and here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We are, watch me first. So what that's doing
Okay.
is it's bringing the fat to the outside and kind of encasing the outside.
Okay.
So that way the burger isn't gonna break on us, and it's gonna bind it really
Oh.
nice.
Because when I had it, see how it's doing that, right?
Exactly.
It's breaking like that.
And I guess you can call this whacking.
This is whacking.
This is whacking. I know
You're
we're-
violent in the kitchen.
Just gonna
Oh, but
kinda-
you did that really. Okay.
There we go, just like
I've
that.
never seen that technique.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm doing that.
So that way we have a nice little burger patty, not too thick, not too thin, and it's encased really nicely where it's not gonna break. You can pour a little bit of olive oil right
Okay.
on top. Excellent. So I'm gonna
Massage those babies.
we're gonna massage it. Next, we're gonna go ahead and come in with some cracked pepper.
Okay.
All right. Just like that. Now, when you're doing this, you wanna make sure you get the whole burger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I don't want to take a bite here and have no cracked
Yeah.
pepper, and then a bite over there and then have it. So it's like inconsistent. We're gonna have our sea salt, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna flip this.
Do the same thing.
And we're gonna do the same thing. You want to do
Yeah.
that? You want to do that side?
Sure.
So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll drop these in the pans.
Yeah. You want to sear, right? You want to.
We want that bond. We want to make sure we sear it, that we encase it, and so that way all that flavor's gonna be inside. And you don't press a burger.
No.
We're gonna move into our slaw
Okay.
right now. We have simple iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and you can go. You don't want to go too thin, but you don't want to go too thick. Again, you can use a mandolin if you're cutting, but
Okay.
this is really all we're gonna need.
Yeah.
If you want to break those onions up for
Okay.
me, so that way they are
So you just want strips.
just
right?
little strips. Yeah, exactly. And we can just drop
Okay.
that right in there. iceberg lettuce. I pull out the inside.
Okay.
I think that's because I'm a snob and I don't want the yellow part in
Yeah.
it. And this is just
Wow.
beautiful and green. And again, we're gonna kind of go the same strips as we have with that. It's the same consistency as our onions. And we're just gonna go ahead and just drop that right into the bowl. We're gonna make a simple little mixture right here. This is Old Bay.
Yep.
This is mayo.
My favorite ingredient, mayo.
All we're gonna do is just add a little bit, and I'm going to fold that right on in, so we're making kind of like an Old Bay aioli. So what we're gonna do is, when this is done, I'm gonna pull the patties out. Then I'm gonna put the buns back in there with some butter, because butter makes everything better. So the thing is, you don't wanna have really thin cheese, and I like to double it up, because I love cheese. You wanna pop that in the oven?
I will.
And we'll do 2 buns like this. Now, why don't you add a couple little dollops in there? Cool, and that's good. And then we are gonna just kind of toss this all together. Ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this out for you.
There, it's like blanketed in cheese. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Looks so good. And our final touch will be our slaw, which you can be generous with. And it's fine for it to like slip off a little bit.
The messier, the better. Oh my God.
It makes you happy.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you so much for having me.
So delicious. Nick's burger is so good, and I'm telling you, every burger from here on out, I'm dressing my lettuce with mayo and Old Bay. That's for sure. If you want the recipe, check out our Instagram at KTLA California Cooking. That's it for us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
It's hard. It's as hard as a coconut. I cut garlic.
You cut the garlic?
Yeah.
You know you're gonna stink like garlic now that you cut it. Bye, Levi. Thanks for your help.